What's up, guys? Today, we are going to talk about how Loom has gone from 0 to 1.8 million users in the last 3 years. And they just raised, as you can see on the screen, a $30 million venture round from the founders of Instagram, Sequoia, a couple of other major venture capital firms. They're crushing it. And basically what they are is Slack for video. So if you are interested in how to raise capital, how to growth hack your way to 1.8, I cut the intro today. We're going to go straight to it. First off, if you're already watching this video, go ahead and give it a like below. And this is also a live stream. So as you may know already, I'm moving my channel completely into live stream format. I think it's going to be really cool. And it's just more fun for me, really. So, but what it allows me to do is actually communicate with you in real time. So if you have any questions about Loom in this video, let me know in the live stream. And if you're not already subscribed, make sure you do so you can communicate with me live in the future. Now, going into Loom, they raised $30 million, which is pretty effing awesome. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a quick look at this TechCrunch article just to give you an idea of their current traction. It's pretty crazy, and I think TechCrunch makes a really good argument here on why their product is doing so well. And if you think about it, like right now we communicate with offshore teams and remote workers through just like typing to them, and it's really slow. I know I have 3 offshore one I kind of like don't even want to call offshore, he's remote, but I have 3 offshore people that I'm working with right now. And like when you're trying to delegate to them, it takes a lot of time. And so I have a mantra right now, which is automate everything. I'm gonna be talking a lot about that on the channel because I'm using all sorts of software to do that. And Loom is one of them that I've just recently been testing out. I like a lot because it saves time. So, I mean, it makes sense. Like, we can talk faster, we can show things on the screen. And basically what it does, hopefully this doesn't kill the live feed, but it's just a browser extension, as you can see above. And then what's going to eventually pop up here, maybe not, is in the corner here, a Loom. Yeah, this is going to be a little slow, but it's having trouble accessing my camera. But basically what would happen here is where you see this corporate photo of me, we would otherwise have me talking on camera to an employee. And yeah, that's pretty much what Loom does. So they launched in 2016. What I'm going to show you later is they were actually a pivot, just like Slack was. So if you know the story behind Slack was actually a video game company that was failing miserably on their last dollar. And they had built this team messaging tool behind the scenes. And they said, all right, we have no other option but to actually just try putting this out. Let's see what happens. And so it was kind of their Hail Mary pass, obviously worked, and the rest is history. And Loom started very similarly. We'll come back to this TechCrunch article. We'll go straight into the growth hacking here. Loom originally started out as kind of like, as you can see, a failed user testing product. Wasn't working, and they basically just like had this code that they had been using, and so they created just an MVP of what you just saw, kind of. I mean, it wasn't like a great demo that I gave or anything, but they launched this video software. And what they eventually found while they were, quote, eating Chipotle burritos every single day without guacamole, I guess. I speak Spanish too much lately. I've been watching a lot of Twitch in Spanish because I'm going to Mexico next week, and I'm trying to speak Spanish again since it's been like 12 years since I lived in Chile. So a lot of these clients were starting to record videos of themselves walking through different user tests. So this just kind of started happening organically as they put it out. And what they realized is that it was starting to grow really fast, and the site that was bringing them the most traffic was actually Upwork, which makes a lot of sense, right? Because that whole site is about outsourcing whatever you need and delegating. And so people on Upwork started using it. They offered a free version. So I guess they were eating Chipotle burritos for a little while longer. But they started seeing massive growth. Basically, as you can see, like they then started posting on Product Hunt. That's actually a very popular place for like mini growth hacking techniques. What really started to drive their growth, and this is the major growth hacking technique that I wanted to talk about, is they actually pulled a formula out of Dropbox's playbook. And you've also seen the same strategy with companies like Uber, Airbnb, like all the major unicorns pretty much do this. And what happens is they created this referral program. And it says, if you refer just 3 people, you can see it here. So let's try to zoom in. Nope, not going to happen. So refer 3 people, you get 2 premium features plus $15 credit towards more features. And people love this product. They want the features. And so they just started referring people. And you may remember that Dropbox did the same back in their early days. I definitely was referring people myself because I wanted that free gigabyte space. So, if you're starting a company right now, first off, think about if people love your product enough and if there are ways to kind of bring these referral cycles into play. What I've learned is that when you're trying to create a sales funnel that doesn't come from referrals, it's a lot harder to convert people. And it makes sense, right? Like when people are referred by others, there's that additional trust that really helps you grow. Otherwise, you're kind of having to show them that you're legitimate. And so you have to use a lot of testimonials. Videos, I think, are really important today because anyone can write something on the internet. So video testimonials are definitely something to look at. And these referral cycles are very important. The peak of growth marketing is word of mouth. If you can reach word of mouth, meaning people, your customers, are telling others about your product without you even having to ask them, that's the peak of exponential growth. And that really comes from having a great product. First off, it comes from having a great product. Second, it's extremely helped by having a product that is enhanced through having others on the other side of it. So you can think about the fact that like video communicating with yourself doesn't really do that much. Okay. But let's say that you have a virtual assistant in the Philippines and you get them to use something like Loom and then they like it and they're like, oh, this like saved everyone a bunch of time. They start recommending it to all their friends and the other companies that they're working with. And that's how these things grow. So really start to think about the different types of referral marketing methods that might be applicable to your business. And then here, it's like if you're running a consulting business, what we do is we just offer people $500 if they refer someone who signs up with us. But if you have a product like a SaaS product or really anything, but SaaS is great for this because it has like pretty much zero marginal cost, and you just offer people the value of something they already want, that's going to allow you to grow really, really fast. So keys here are to make sure that you, 1, recommend that people refer you, and 2, have a great product, which you already know. So one other thing here is Loom is, at this point, now they're offering a paid product, but early on, they were not doing that. So what Loom was doing in the early days, and by the way, if you are finding this helpful, give this a like below because that'll allow more people to learn about these strategies, even though I'm sure you don't want your competitors finding out about them, but help a brother out. So they were offering it free. They thought about actually not continuing to do that. But what they ended up deciding is that they were going to keep offering it free. And they give an example here of a company that had 22 employees that were using it. They had their headquarters and office, had some remote people, and they knew that if they didn't charge immediately, that company would just keep growing its user base and they could figure it out later. And that's exactly what happened. It turned into over 370 employees at that company. In February, they had 1.1 million users. And that is now, as of a couple of weeks ago, as of the posting of this article, 1.8 million, 18,000 businesses to 50,000 businesses who are using Loom. And that allowed them to raise a $30 million Series B. Now, one thing to know is if you are starting a company right now, the game has changed in venture capital. So if you're thinking about like going out and trying to raise a seed round from premier investors, you actually already have to have traction with customers. That was not the case even 5 years ago. 5 years ago, you could come in with an idea. That was the whole point of a seed round. And it's gotten a lot more formulaic because investors hate losing money. And so they are trying to not invest in shitty ideas anymore. So they're allowing the accelerators to do that instead. So a lot of times you have to either go through an accelerator program or just prove that you can grow it yourself. And I think that that's where there's a lot of great resources on YouTube. We're going to change this song real quick. This is not my jam. So yeah, and just feel free to let me know if you hate the music in the background to keep shuffling it. All right, this is a little more chill. So the thing here is that on YouTube, there are lots of great resources about building sales funnels, and that's exactly what you should be doing. If you have a product, don't go, first of all, don't even just start building a product. Actually create your sales funnel first, and then either in tandem build your product or after. Like, prove your idea first. We're actually doing this right now. I'll tell you something my friends and I are doing is I was reaching out today to people who are well, I'll do another video on this, but I've been reaching out to people today about putting vending machines in Airbnbs. You heard it here first. And surprisingly, no one's doing this. You know, yesterday I talked about how soda joints might be the next big thing because they're popping up all across Utah. And today, the tip I'm giving you is look at Airbnb. And I've just been Airbnb-ing some of the hosts that I've stayed at over the years. Like a year ago, I traveled for 6 months. I've traveled a lot over the years in general. So stayed in a lot of Airbnbs over the years. And I've just been messaging on their platform a bunch of the different hosts that I've stayed at, asking them if they would use it. The answer is yes by everyone. I actually didn't expect that. And my friends and I are testing out a couple of different ideas. And so that's an example of, even though like one of my partners is testing out the design and we're like coming up with what this will look like our MVP is literally just going to be an honesty bar with credit card processing. And if I lose $6, you know, someone owes me $6, but it's okay. So that's the kind of methodology. And all of this is in my latest ebook, which I actually don't think is in the description, but in the description is my website. And if you go to my homepage, jaronlukas.com, you can find a link to a free download of Growing with Market Science, which summarizes the strategies that I've found to work through my own companies and the companies I've advised, which have reached 100 million in sales over the last 5 years. And so this is really like, I talk about stuff that 80% of entrepreneurs are not doing. You know, a lot of people are still making the mistake of building their product first and then figuring out marketing later. And that doesn't work, because what happens is you end up building the wrong product. And then when you start getting feedback from customers, you have to change it, which means that you are extending the time to market. You're adding 2 or 3 additional product cycles, and that sucks. Nobody wants to waste their time. So that's what market science is all about. It's about finding product market fit first, And once you've done that, creating and testing growth strategies for cheap and quick so that you can figure out what's going to work. And then when they do work, you have the data to know that you can put more money in behind them and that's going to work out for you profitably. So yeah, join my market science cult. Nobody on YouTube has heard me joke about that yet, but that's something that I've been saying on Twitch. So I'm probably going to bring it here. And I wanted to finish off with one final strategy that I found today that they're using. This one's crazy. And if you go to their homepage, what you're going to see is that, okay, we're taking off login, going to their homepage. Okay, this might not work because I signed in, but basically what happened before I signed in is I was sent to their login screen every time. And so tell me if I'm wrong, try this for yourself. Let me know if I'll put a link below. If you're watching the replay of this video, there will be a link to Loom below. Click that link and let me know in the comments if it also went straight to the login screen. And if this is true, this is the most impressive growth hack in a long time because they're literally just like, use the product. And I think that's pretty amazing. So put referrals into your campaigns, download market science, just forget your whole website, only have a sign up box. Those are the strategies for today. If you enjoyed this video and found it useful, give me a like. Make sure you subscribe if you want to catch my live streams. I'm moving the whole channel into live streams. And I really want to get, let's just call it 10 concurrent people watching these videos at a time. So go tell your friends, get 10 people on at a time, and help me grow this channel. And if you find this live streaming equipment, man, we're fixing that though. I have a new computer coming in tomorrow. So yeah, talk to you soon. Tomorrow will be my last live stream, most likely before I go to Mexico. And until next time, you know the drill.